This is the pivot where we talk about topics that are central to our game. Joining us back here on SWISH, she was actually in our first episode, and now she's joining us here again in our last episode, Meghan McPeak, a Washington Mystics play-by-play announcer. Also joining us is ESPN Basketball Analyst, LaChina Robinson. Busy summer for both of you, as I know that you guys both covered the Olympics, but let's talk some WNBA basketball. The W25 is a collection of the 25 most influential players in WNBA history. So let's talk some ball. Who do you guys got? Do you guys feel like there was anybody that should have made the cut? Meghan, I will go to you first.
I am really surprised Rebecca Brunson was not on that list. I know she was on a lot of people's lists for just missing the cut, and some people had her on, some people had her off, but you look at what her resume is and like think of second all-time leader in the W in rebounding, 5-time champion, the only 5-time WNBA champion at that. You also have to factor in the fact she was WNBA defensive first team. She was a 6-time WNBA All-Star. Yes, she wasn't an MVP or Rookie of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year, but at the end of the day, you can't discredit what she's done when you look at those accomplishments.
I agree with Meghan. I think that was my first sentiment when I saw the list, and I did get to vote. So Brunson was someone that I had on my top 25 that didn't make it. I mean, you know, you could make the case for a few other players. Deanna Nolan, for sure, is someone who I know her name has come up here and there. Dawn Staley. But what's interesting and where I think some of this got lost is, you know, that criteria that we were given by the WNBA was the list that got us from 72 to 25 names. Once you get to 25, it's kind of up to you to sift through, you know, who you think should be. I mean, you know, it could be 5-time all defensive player you could think is, you know, adequate, or maybe you think it's okay if you only made one WNBA team. It kind of is up to the individual, but there's other things that we know come into play, like the eye test, right? Like I say that about Tamika Catchings. She's always going to be in my top 5 GOAT list because, you know, the tenacity she played with, the intensity she played with, in addition to the accolades, even though her championships may not add up to others. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a great discussion to have, and it speaks volumes to how many great and impactful players that we've had come through the WNBA in its 25 years of existence.
The regular season has come to a wrap, so it is go time. Playoffs have started or are about to start, I should say. Which 2 teams do you think will be making the finals, competing for the WNBA's 25th championship?
Got to put this out there, DC fans. I'm sorry, like, please don't get mad. I think Connecticut, the way that they have played all season, they seem to have everything on all cylinders moving, whether it's the offensive end or the defensive end. They play a very intricate style of basketball. They do not try to outrun you. They do not try to outscore you. They do not try to put up, you know, 90, 95, 100 points. They average under 80 points a game offensively, but they also hold their opponents to under 80 points a game on the defensive end. That's a testament to the way that they play defense. They remind me, the way that they are moving and the way that they have such chemistry and playing on a string, they remind me of the 2018 Seattle Storm and the 2019 Mystics in the way that no matter what you threw at them as a team, they just seemed like they had another switch to flip, and there was someone else that was coming at you. You shut down Jonquel Jones. Oh, guess what? They've got Brianna Jones coming at you, Jasmine Thomas. Then, of course, you add in the fact that we could potentially see an Alyssa Thomas in the playoffs after her Achilles injury. And I saw Connecticut later in the season, and Alyssa Thomas was not returning to the floor yet. She was still officially on the injury report as out, but she looked like she could have easily played in that game. And that is a scary thought, to think that you could get a player of that level of caliber back for a playoff run when you already have things clicking. So it would not surprise me if we see a Seattle and Connecticut matchup in the finals.
So Chana, who do you got?
The Connecticut Sun, I absolutely agree with Meghan. And the thing about the Sun that separates them in my mind is their mentality. They play like underdogs, and they've got a roster full of players that don't have the accolades that a lot of these other teams don't have, the number of, you know, number 1 picks, but they've got a lot of players that I think have been underestimated. And then the other team I would say is the Las Vegas Aces. Top to bottom, I don't think there's a roster in this league that can compete with what they have, right? Especially now that we've seen players like Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young start to live up to that billing of being a top player. I mean, they were both #1 picks, right? No matter who is missing or who they have on the roster any given night or who they don't, they find a way to win. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're stacked. I mean, look at what Raquana Williams is doing now. She's been their best perimeter defender all year. Now she's reminding everyone that she can also shoot the ball. No Liz Cambage, no problem. Asia Wilson takes over. You've got Hamby coming off of the bench. So, I think that's how you want to feel at this time of the year, that no matter what happens, because things happen, injuries happen, COVID happens, that you really have the depth on your team that can go for the long haul. And I don't think there is any team in the situation to win the championship or in position like the Las Vegas Aces that has that much talent on their team. And so, I just think the talent makes up for a lot of things.
That would be a fun finals.
It would.
Oh my God. That would be crazy.
John Fell and Liz and Asia going head to head at it. That would be so fun.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
All I ask is that they live tweet at the same time.
Yeah. Yes. They have some really good Twitter accounts. Both teams do.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us on our last pivot of our season. I had to end it strong with both of you impactful women in the game of basketball. So thank you for joining us.